Making sure that the children with additional needs are able to access education at their own level and in the way they learn is a crucial and essential part of the education system. An Educational Healthcare Plan, or EHCP, is an important document in meeting the educational requirements of children with a special educational need and/or disability. But what is it, and how important is it that you follow this document to the letter? Hi everyone, I'm Natalie from My Progression, and this video is all about educational health care plans. This video is going to look at EHCPs, what they are and how they differ from a support plan. We'll also look at the process of application for an EHCP. As a new teacher or someone with little experience with special education, it can be daunting to plan for a child with specific needs. A support plan, sometimes referred to as an IEP, Individual Educational Plan, and EHCP will not only support the child, but also act as guidance and support for the teaching staff involved to be able to plan effectively. So what is an EHCP? Special Educational Needs and Disabilities, or SEND, can affect a child or young person's ability to learn. They can affect every aspect of their school life, including but not limited to their behaviour, ability to socialise, ability to learn in a classroom environment, ability to sit exams or formal assessments. Within school, consideration must be given to whether a child's special educational needs can be met under SEN support or whether they need an Educational Health Care Plan, or EHCP. An EHCP is a higher level of support than SEN support for children with special educational needs, determined by a formal assessment, or an EHC needs assessment. They're put in place to meet the needs of a child with specific needs. An EHCP is a legal document and sets out the child or young person's special educational needs, the support they need, and what they'd like to achieve. It covers birth to 25 years, if a young person stays in education. An EHCP can be integral in enabling some children to access education at their level. You might be familiar with the term statemented child. An Educational Health and Care Plan replaces statements of special educational needs in England as a result of the Children and Families Act of 2014. There are currently around 10.3 million pupils in the UK, and as of January 2024, there are 576,000 children and young people with an EHCP. In mainstream school, we may have a number of children with an EHCP in place, but in special education, EHCPs are a fundamental part of educational right and are essential to plan and manage the specific needs that a child may have. To obtain an EHCP for a child, there is a vigorous process to go through and a great deal of evidence to compile, which will be used and assessed to identify if a child warrants an EHCP. Parents, school and medical teams, as well as other outside agency involvement, is needed and can take time to put in place. I can tell you from parents I know who've had to get an EHCP, there's a lot of frustration associated with this process. It can be a real fight to get one and to get one that actually helps. So who can apply for an EHCP? A child's school or nursery, health professional such as health visitor or other person involved with a child like a parent, carer and foster parent can apply for an EHCP. They can be included in health or social care needs, but a child would not get a plan if they only have health or social care needs that do not affect their education. The EHCP application and assessment process can be overwhelming, exhausting and totally mind-boggling for all involved. Within school, there are trained staff known as SENCOs, Special Educational Needs and Disabilities Coordinators, along with leadership, who will be very much in charge of the application process. But you, as the teacher or support assistant involved in a child's education, may be asked to find supporting evidence to support the application, along with written reports to confirm areas of concern. What's the difference between a support plan and an EHCP? An SEND support plan is a document created by the setting to address concerns that a child is making less than expected progress in relation to their educational progress or attainment, wider development, or social needs. If a school identifies a concern about a child, it's important to have strategies in place to support the pupil and family. The school SENCO will be heavily involved and support staff in identifying how to best help the child with a specific need or needs. A support plan is very much a working document and will be most helpful for staff to be aware of the specific needs of a child and the aims and goals set up to support the child within the classroom, in order to access learning. Some children will be on a support plan for a short length of time and issues can resolve naturally, but some will need greater support, and so outside agencies such as Speech and Language Team, SALT, an educational psychologist, child and adolescent mental health services, CAMS, and children and young people services, CIPs, along with medical professionals such as the GP and paediatricians may also be involved in gaining a diagnosis, as well as being able to support and advise a school in how best to meet the needs of a pupil. An EHCP differs in the fact that after the process has occurred, there's now a legal document that can't be changed or adapted. An EHCP outlines any special educational needs that a child has. It also covers the support a local authority must put in place to help a child. That means that the local authority has a legal obligation to provide the support detailed in the plan. An EHC request needs to prove that the child's needs are beyond what the school can provide as standard. Otherwise, the local authority will not consider the request. So what is the process of application for an EHCP? The process of application for an EHCP demands a high level of evidence from all involved with the pupil. The first step is to identify that the child has additional learning needs. Concerns may have been raised by parents or the school. A support plan may be put in place whilst the school and parents explore the concerns. Outside agency involvement will be necessary to gain evidence and a possible diagnosis. A request must then be put into the local authority for an EHC assessment. This will then begin a process which is outlined on the government website. It's vigorous and will demand evidence to support the application. So from application, the process should take 16 weeks. An application does not necessarily mean that an EHCP will be granted. So if it's accepted, the local authority will create a draft EHCP and send the school a copy. 15 days are given to comment, including if you want to ask that a child goes to a specialist needs school or specialist college. Your local authority has 20 weeks from the date they receive the request for the assessment to give you the final EHCP. So what are the benefits of an EHCP? Having an EHCP will give the school funding, which will be allocated towards the child. This money can be used to support the child in an individual and personal way. This could be regular therapy sessions or support from an adult to be able to access education. An EHCP may allow parents to explore the best and most appropriate setting for their child. Whilst mainstream works for many with an EHCP, some schools are more appropriate to meet the child's needs. If a specific school is recommended in an EHCP, the school is legally obligated to admit the child. Regular reviews of the child will take place, usually on a yearly basis, where all involved with the care of the child will gather and discuss the plan and any progress made. Adjustments may be recommended to ensure that the care is appropriate. So what's the school's responsibility to a child with an EHCP? Well, legally, schools and local authorities must provide the support in a child's EHCP, even if a child's not at school. The funding may be used for staffing in the form of a one-to-one support, or pay for individual therapy sessions from professionals such as speech and language, occupational health, physiotherapy, hydrotherapy, or equine therapy. The funding is accountable and needs to be well planned to benefit the child. If there is an EHCP application in process, the school shouldn't just wait to support the child or make adjustments. It's important that they take every reasonable action to work with that child with their best interest at heart. Being able to effectively support children with special educational needs in the classroom is an essential part of any teacher's job. Teacher training doesn't always prepare you for this, and learning by experience is often the way it happens. Recent figures suggest that teachers will encounter, on average, 4 children with additional needs in every class. Some are on a support plan, or some with an EHCP in place. So what can you do to ensure you have the best, inclusive classroom environment? Well, here are some important factors to consider. Make sure you create a positive and supportive environment for all pupils without exception. Promote pupil well-being. Build positive relationships with your pupils. Build up a knowledge and understanding of your pupils and their specific needs and conditions. This can be said for all pupils, however, understanding a condition will help plan and support all in the classroom. Ask for support from your SENCO and more experienced colleagues, or even the outside agencies involved with the child. Parents can also be key here, as they'll know what helps and benefits their child, and and they'll know what doesn't. Including the child in conversations is essential, as they're the most important source of information. This can be transferred to the classroom with any child, and the communication and care and respect of a child through talking should not be underestimated. Using a child's personal interest can also be a powerful tool to foster engagement, and it is particularly recommended in the case of autistic children. These special interests can be incorporated into learning activities or to help you create personalised reward systems. Continually evaluating what works and what's no longer working for a child will also be key. As we know, children can be engaged with something one term and then lose interest the next term. Plan effectively and deliver high quality teaching. You may be planning for extra adults in your classroom or the use of specific equipment for some children. Once you get to know your children with an EHCP or support plan, you'll soon get into the swing of planning for them. And whilst it is hard work, it will pay off, and you'll become adept at considering the strategies that work best. So for more on this, see our video on planning for a mixed ability class, linked in the description. And whilst you're there, like, subscribe and click on the bell to keep hearing more from My Progression. Keep notes. I love a notebook, so keep a note of anything that's beneficial, that works, and what doesn't work. Constant reflection of your practice and its impact will also be key in your own professional development, but most importantly for meeting the children's needs in your classroom. So whilst an EHCP is a long process, it can be a key document into providing the best care and education for a child with specific needs. Every child deserves the very best and has the right to an education that will engage and support their learning. I've been Natalie from My Progression, and let's keep your career in motion.